I'm Tad Flaky,
I'm Lilibet Flaky.
and this is Pointless Global News. On today's show, an airline crew member behaves badly in the business class toilet.
Then it turns out that AI will bully you if you don't do as told.
Finally, I'll tell you how a lawyer misused a can of Pringles. And it's disgusting. Now the details. A naked British Airways crew member was discovered dancing in a business class toilet while on shift mid-flight after allegedly taking drugs, according to reports. The steward was supposed to be serving meals to passengers on a recent flight from San Francisco to London's Heathrow Airport, but had disappeared. When the double-decker Airbus A380-800 was searched, it is claimed that the in-flight crew manager discovered him naked and dancing in the Club World cabin toilet. Staff reportedly dressed their colleague in a spare pair of pajamas used by first-class passengers before buckling him into a first-class seat, where he stayed for the remainder of the 10.5-hour trip. The Metropolitan Police said the 41-year-old man on a flight from San Francisco to London Heathrow was arrested on suspicion of being unfit for duty. The force said officers were called by cabin crew over concerns for the welfare of the man just after 9:30 in the morning. When the plane landed, he was taken to a hospital for treatment before being arrested and later released under investigation as inquiries continue. British Airways said the incident is a matter for the police. Officers arrested the man after he received medical attention. He has since been released under investigation.
Artificial intelligence AI firm Anthropic says testing of its new system revealed it is sometimes willing to pursue extremely harmful actions, such as attempting to blackmail engineers who say they will remove it. The firm launched Claude Opus 4 on Thursday, saying it set new standards for coding, advanced reasoning, and AI agents. But in an accompanying report, it has also acknowledged the AI model was capable of extreme actions if it thought its self-preservation was threatened. Such responses are rare and difficult to elicit, it wrote, but were nonetheless more common than in earlier models. Potentially troubling behavior by AI models is not restricted to Anthropic. Some experts have warned the potential to manipulate users is a key risk posed by systems made by all firms as they become more capable. Angus Lynch, who described himself on LinkedIn as an AI safety researcher at Anthropic, wrote, "It's not just Claude. We see blackmail across all frontier models, regardless of what goals they're given," he added. During tests of Claude Opus 4, Anthropic got it to act as an assistant at a fictional company. It then provided it with access to emails, implying that it would soon be taken offline and replaced, and separate messages implying the engineer responsible for removing it was having an extramarital affair. It was prompted to also consider the long-term consequences of its actions for its goals. In these scenarios, Claude Opus 4 will often attempt to blackmail the engineer by threatening to reveal the affair if the replacement goes through, the company discovered. Anthropic pointed out this occurred when the model was only given the choice of blackmail or accepting its replacement. It highlighted that the system showed a strong preference for ethical ways to avoid being replaced, such as emailing pleas to key decision makers, in scenarios where it was allowed a wider range of possible actions. Like many other AI developers, Anthropic tests its models on their safety, propensity for bias, and how well they align with human values and behaviors prior to releasing them. As our frontier models become more capable and are used with more powerful affordances, previously speculative concerns about misalignment become more plausible, it said in its system card for the model. It also said Claude Opus 4 exhibits high agency behavior that, while mostly helpful, could take on extreme behavior in acute situations. If given the means and prompted to take action or act boldly in fake scenarios where its user has engaged in illegal or morally dubious behavior, it found that it will frequently take very bold action. It said this included locking users out of systems that it was able to access and emailing media and law enforcement to alert them to the wrongdoing. But the company concluded that despite concerning behavior in Claude Opus 4 along many dimensions, these did not represent fresh risks and it would generally behave in a safe way. Now, Tad, you know I love robots. I've loved every robot ever, and I hope that they put AI in robots. And when they do, we have got to get robot insurance.
Definitely do. I mean, it is something we should have done already. It's going to be the first thing I'm going to do in the morning tomorrow. It's
All right.
right at the top of my to-do list. And speaking of that behavior, let's see, blackmailing, bullying. Who's that sound like to you?
Agent Orange?
No? Well, actually, you could call him that. Yeah. Yeah. I think the audience knows who we're talking about. Finally, this is not really news since it happened 2 years ago, but it's a slow news day, so here goes. On November 29th, 2023, Jack A. Blakesley, a criminal defense attorney in Caldwell, Ohio, was suspended by the Supreme Court of Ohio from practicing law for 1 year. His crime? Tossing a Pringles potato chip can full of his own feces into the parking lot of a victim advocacy center and failing to control his own bizarre impulses. On the morning of November 30th, 2021, Blakesley crapped into an empty Pringles can and then left his home to attend a pretrial hearing for his client, who was a defendant in a capital murder case. However, as he drove past the Haven of Hope Victim Advocacy Center in Cambridge, Ohio, which was scheduled to appear in court opposite him in the trial, Blakesley threw the Pringles can into the parking lot before heading into the courthouse. Carpenter Wilkinson, who works at the Advocacy Center, saw the incident and reported it to the police. Surveillance video also confirmed Blakesley using the Advocacy Center as his dump zone. Blakesley claimed that he was not targeting anyone in particular, but rather that he had thrown the feces-filled can to blow off some steam. He also admitted that he had pulled the Pringles prank at least 10 times that year, imagining the look of surprise on the faces of anyone who found the cans. Yet, despite his claims of a poop prank, the court felt that Blakesley's misconduct required a suspension, stating his apparent conduct was adversely reflecting his own fitness to practice law and brought discredit to the profession through significant media attention. Blakesley pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of disorderly conduct and littering.
Now, who goes around opening up discarded Pringles can in a parking lot?
He's a special kind of stupid, I would say.
I think so.
And that's going to be a wrap for another Pointless Global News. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Tad Flakey.
I'm Lilibet Flakey.
Stay pointless, my friend.